Hey guys, what's going on? This is Travis P11. I'd like to welcome you back to the channel and welcome to part one of my Prorun gas chainsaw model PCS214 unboxing, overview, and startup. I call this a part one because we'll be doing some wood cutting here this winter or early this spring, and this Prorun chainsaw is going to get some use, but we are at least going to get it started up for you. We'll talk about the ergonomics, we'll kind of take a look at the general build quality, go over all the features, and I'll talk to you a little bit about what I do, some of the products I use when I actually cut wood. So in my collection, I've got a steel MS291. I've also got an old, about 6 or 7 year old Craftsman with an 18-inch bar that I've been using. The steel is running a 20-inch bar, and I wanted something a little bit smaller, a little bit more agile, and I wanted to keep those two saws as they were. So I saw this Prorun gas chainsaw for sale on the Lowe's website. Now, it was Black Friday when I bought it. It was on sale for $99.99. It's currently up to about $124, $125 at this point, as of December of 2022. A couple things I'm going to run with it is going to be Ceph, small engine fuel. I love this stuff. It's fantastic. I've had this in my chainsaws for over a year and they fire right up with no issues. I do close the can up when I'm done with it. It's a 40 to 1 and a 50 to 1 pre-mix ratio for your 2-cycle engines, 2-cycle fuel. It's about $6 a can. A little hard to find at Walmart out of season. I ended up having to go to Tractor Supply Company to run it. Now, this Prorun does have an auto oiler, which I'm not a big fan of. I prefer manual oilers, but my MS291 also has an auto oiler from Steel. So what I like to do, and you're probably gonna think I'm nuts, but I run this year round. This is their winter blend bar and chainsaw lubricant, or bar and saw chain lubricant. So what it is, it's a lower viscosity, so it has a tendency to flow a little bit better. You will go through it a lot quicker, especially if it's hot out, but I do find that with auto oilers, it has a tendency to put the right amount of oil on the chain so you don't burn up the bar. And I've had really good luck with it, although it's a little hard to source. Locally, I can really only get this at Ace Hardware when I look around, but online you might have better luck than me. So let's go over the features of the chainsaw real quick. We'll do the unboxing, we'll check out the ergonomics, and we'll go from there. All right, so taken from the Lowe's website, here's the details. The Prorun PCS214 2-cycle 14-inch gas chainsaw built for efficiency and performance with a 37.2 cc engine and the power you need to handle storm cleanup, free felling, and firewood cutting. Oregon bar and chain for excellent performance. And I'll tell you what model of bar and chain you need here in a little bit and where you can find it, because they're really easy to source. The automatic oiler reduces wear and maintenance. The anti-vibration handle system provides user comfort and reduces fatigue. Simple maintenance with toolless air cover. Does have a full metal crankcase for durability and performance. Again, automatic oiling system. Side access chain adjustment makes tension adjusting quick and easy for the 14-inch Oregon bar and chain. Simple and reliable starting with spring-assisted pull handle for less effort. Reduced vibration handles for increased user comfort. Safety inertia-activated chain brake stops chain automatically. Only weighs 10.3 pounds, which seems a little bit heavy for a 14-inch chainsaw, but many times this is the same chassis as a 16 or 18-inch chainsaw, but the only difference is the bar length. And you do have a 1-year limited warranty. Now, one thing that was cool about it is I did put it on my Lowe's card, which got me an additional 5% off. I paid it off the next day anyway. And then I also purchased a 3-year warranty, I think for 13 or 14 bucks. And how it works is if Lowe's can't fix the chainsaw, they basically give you $50 credit or 50 bucks back on your purchase. So I figured $13, $14 for a warranty, 50 bucks back. I really got nothing to lose, especially if the saw doesn't work anymore. And there's a good chance that by the time this thing does break, this model, this exact design will not be available anymore anyway. So let's go ahead and cut right into it. Let's open up the box and see how they package it, and let's see how everything looks. All right, guys, so apologies for filming in the bedroom here, but it's nice and quiet, and it's nice and warm because it's freezing outside right now. And this is what we're gonna get. So let's go ahead and crack the box open and see how well it's packaged. Again, you don't get any kind of a case with it. That was one thing I really liked about the Craftsman that I bought about 7 years ago, is it did have a full case with it, which was good. Got our user's manual here, PCS214/216. Yeah, they also make this in a 16-inch model too. And it looks like we do have the 1-year warranty. If you're professional, industrial, commercial, it's only 90 days, but you guys probably know about that just because of the actual, duty the thing is gonna see. What else we got here? We've got a bottle we can use to mix up our gasoline and oil. This is really handy to have. This is not a bad idea. Fuel mixing canister, that's cool. You can get your premix on. Again, I use the premix fuel, so it doesn't matter. Okay, we also have the file that you can use to maintain your chain, which is really a nice thing to have, definitely a bonus. I've had to buy these in the past, which is cool. We have a little screwdriver, a little plug. Not sure exactly what this is for. This may be to adjust some sort of tensioner or something, but again, that's thrown in there too. We'll find out in a little bit. Okay, we also have your tool that you use to loosen the nuts on the side of the chainsaw, and this will give you access to the bar and the chain so that you can do any maintenance you need to, cleaning adjustments, chain change, etc. And let's go ahead and take it out. Now I gotta be serious with you guys. This looks almost identical to my Craftsman, which unfortunately it's not here with me right now, but the plastic looks exactly like my 18-inch model. My Craftsman does have foam on here. This is just a hard plastic. I kind of wish this was foam, but that's okay. We'll take it if that's what we got. Here's the back of it. Yeah, you got your on-off switch. You've got your primer bubble. You've got your choke knob right here. You put your bar oil right here, your fuel right here. Just almost identical to the Craftsman. We're going to access the air filter on this top cover. Would have to read the manual. Looks like you pop a clip off right here, and this probably comes off, and that's how you get to it. Makes it super easy to get to. We do have a cover for the chain and the bar, which is a good thing. What do we have here? Warning about, how to cold start it. Yeah, we'll definitely pay attention to that, especially the first time that we run it. Don't know what the temperature is going to be like when we first start it, so it could be kind of interesting. I don't know if we can adjust the carburetor on this when the temperatures drop to a certain temperature. I believe on my Craftsman I can, but let's just kind of hold it up here so you can see it. Really, really lightweight. Not bad at all. You can see the metal in the chassis. Plastic around here. I probably wouldn't want to drop this on anything hard, but looks good. Now this is interesting. So there is a notice here of where the screw would be to adjust the oil, your oiler, but it has an automatic oiling system. So they must be using the old Craftsman chassis, or this is the same, this comes off the same line as a Craftsman. That's interesting because that's exactly where my screw would be. Oh, I do see a little tiny screw down there. Okay, so maybe this does not have an automatic oiling system, or if it is automatic, it is adjustable, which is a very cool thing. All right, let's go and check out the bar and chain. We'll be very careful about this here as we do so. So you got yourself an Oregon Double Guard 91, low kickback. And I'll show you the chain and the bar that you use if you need a replacement. You can get them off of Amazon. I think they're $21, which is not bad. Lots of springs here to absorb a lot of the shock. And really, I mean, other than the plastic feeling maybe just a little bit thinner than the old Craftsman, it feels almost identical to my previous chainsaw. I do like it. All right, let's take a different view of it here in just a moment. All right, so easy access. You'll simply take off these two bolts. You pull off the side cover. You'll have access to your sprocket, and the chain you can remove it if you want to. I'm not going to do that here because I'm not out in the garage right now. But again, overall, it does not feel super tiny. It feels just about right. And I think it's going to work okay. You know, it does feel a lot lighter, a lot more nimble than the 18-inch saw that I'm currently using right now. And we'll start it up and let it run and just definitely let it warm up. Like I said, I won't be cutting any wood this video, but you can at least get an idea as to what you're getting yourself into if you buy it. Not bad. It does take a 50-to-1 ratio, so just keep that in mind if you buy it. In the front here, you can see where you've got your, I believe it's your spark arrestor and your little muffler. This area gets really hot, so be careful. You really want to definitely watch some videos and get some instruction before you use a chainsaw for your first time. So the brake itself is just right here. Let's see. There you go. It goes back and locks into place. It clicks forward. Okay. That's fine. I mean, it seems just a little tiny bit flimsy, but this thing is going to get used, you know, probably maybe twice a year for an hour. Each time when I use it, it's not going to be massive jobs that I do with it. Okay, so they do mention, you know, toolless access to get to the air box, which is basically right here where your filter is going to be at, but I just using the little screwdriver that comes with it. So pop it right here. Like I said, looks like you can adjust your own oiler. So they say automatic oiler, but I mean, it does push oil out, but you can adjust the flow, and that's something I really do like about this model. As for replacement filters, you'd have to go through the parts guide because they do show you specifically what each part is called and its parts number. This looks basically identical to the Craftsman. Again, you just unscrew this, you can take your filter off. Spark plug access is right here on the top, and the manual will tell you what spark plug you're going to need to replace it with. It's an looks like an L7 RTC or a J7 RTC. Okay, it's very cool. Put the cover back on. Easy to access. You do have the nice little guide on the back that tells you how to start it. I do like that. Especially how some chainsaws can be different from one another. Easy access cover. Very nice. Okay, so if you need a replacement bar and chain, you want the Oregon S52 chain, and you can also get a bar and chain combo over there on Amazon for $20.98. Let's see, and it's the model 27856, and that's of December 17th of 2022. Prices could increase, prices can go up, but again, not too expensive if you need to do some maintenance on it. All right, let's just go ahead and start it up and just see how it runs and just get it going, and we'll call it a part one. Okay guys, a couple things I just want to point out before we get started. There's a little hole right here on both sides of your bar. I've got a needle oiler. This is just some REM oil. What you want to do is just put a couple drops of oil in there. If you can, you want to very carefully try to pull the chain a little bit. Obviously these are razor sharp, you want to be careful, but since this is a brand new saw, I'm going to have to let this run a little while before I do this, but I do like to kind of pull the chain just back and forth a little bit to get that oil in there. But just a couple drops in there, something you should do before and after you get done cutting any wood. And then I also want to show you the position for the tensioner, and then something else that's interesting that I discovered about the saw before we get started. Right now, this isn't really going to be a how-to video on how to operate the chainsaw and maintain it, cut wood, etc. But if you do want to adjust the tension, you can loosen these two bolts right here. They give you the tension screw right here, and you'll use this screw right here. You go, I believe, counterclockwise to loosen the tension and clockwise to increase the tension. Obviously, you want to pull up on the front of the bar while you do so, and then you tighten the bolts. You can take the cover off by taking these two bolts off right here. So I kept talking about the oiler unit and stuff because, you know, it says max and min right here. Obviously it's upside down, but there's a little tiny screw right here that I thought was going to be the screw that you turn to control the flow of oil on the bar. I am unable to turn that screw, so it must be preset from the factory. So we're going to see what happens after I let it break in and use it a couple times. So for right now, let's just pretend it's an automatic oiler and you can't adjust it. I don't have my manual with me right now either, and I'll try to give you an update in the video before we get started. Then also right here, I didn't point this out to you. On the front of the bar, you can go ahead and pull this little guard off right here, and this is your little guard that you have right here. Not exactly what that's called, but okay, let's go and show you guys how we start. Okay, so this is our first start with this chainsaw. It's never been run before. It's about 25 degrees outside, so I have no idea what's going to happen. They do give you cold start instructions to follow, so we're going to do that, although this is, like I said before, identical to my Craftsman. What you want to do is push your chain brake to the forward position, so it clicks into place. Okay, got that all taken care of. After that, you want to push the on switch right here, press it up. Okay, it's ready to go. Push it up to the 1 position. Then you want to press the primer bulb back here, this little bubble back here. They say up to 10 times. I usually watch it till it fills completely up with fuel and there's no more air bubbles in there, or if there's just a minimal air bubble. 8, 9, 10. There's 10. Okay, then after that, what you want to do is pull out the little choke knob, which is right here, this little choke. Just pull that back. It'll lock into position. Now, I prefer to put my foot through the handle here, which is what you're supposed to do. Some guys like to stand when they do it, and that's totally their own choice. We're just going to pull it a couple times until it burps or wants to turn over, and then we stop. Okay, we'll go and stop there. All right, now at this point, we will go ahead and put the choke into the run position. Now, when we start it, it's going to start idling. You just want to blip the throttle one time and then turn off the chain brake, and it's going to start spinning, so be ready for that, okay? Here we go. There you go. All right, let's go ahead and show it off. Okay, and something I want to tell you is that the tension was super tight on that chain right out of the box, so obviously I had to adjust the tension on it. Follow the instruction manual on how to adjust the tension, you'll be in good shape. And I'm just gonna pull the throttle a couple times. I just want to let it warm up, and that's basically it. I'm not gonna be cutting any wood today. If I was cutting wood, I'd have proper hearing protection on, obviously gloves. I got chainsaw chaps that I wear that have Kevlar in them. So you want to be as safe as you can. So let's go ahead and just show it off. So like I said before, I prefer to use the winter blend oil year-round on these chainsaws that have the auto oilers. That little beam of oil, those two little strips of oil you see right there, that's just from me holding it over the concrete and just giving it medium throttle. So it will throw the oil out there, so if you can get the winter blend, that's probably the best idea for it. All right, let's bring it back for some final thoughts. Okay guys, so if you just want a light duty chainsaw that's inexpensive, maybe just to have as a spare around the house, or maybe something to learn how to cut wood on, you know, this is really good. Like I said, we haven't even cut a tree down with it. It looks promising, feels fairly powerful, and when I bring you guys a part 2, we will be cutting the wood, but this is just to show you the basics of what the saw has to offer. Again, use a good quality fuel in it. If you do your own premix, that's fine, but make sure you burn through that fuel every season, you know, and then start fresh every spring or winter or whenever you decide to do your cutting. Make sure that you put your oil down there in that little end piece, and it's got good oil coming out on the bar, and I'm pretty impressed with it. So the Prorun PCS214, I'm going to give it 2 thumbs up for now. if it has any issues, you know, when we're cutting wood, if it fails, you guys are going to see that in part 2, which that video is probably not going to happen for a couple months. We're going to do some cutting this spring, and so we got some trees to cut down, and you get a chance to actually see this thing in action. And I think that's about it. So thanks for watching today, guys. This is Travis P11. Always, again, be very careful. Use something like a chainsaw or any power tools for that matter. Make sure you guys use the proper safety equipment. I want you guys to have fun. I want you to be safe, like, and subscribe. And as you know, we will talk to you soon. All right, guys. Bye-bye.